No, I need to post it everywhere.
Oh, okay, that's fine. I was just trying to make sure it was centered right.
Uh,
And I'll look for you. Can't believe you brought that chair. Ooh, I gotta add
oh.
Singers. Okay, you look good. Just like oh, here they come. Here they come. Here they come, Daisy. Hey,
Who?
Shanta. Hi, Jose. Hi, Eric. Hey, Paul. Hey, Sammy D. We live. We all the way live. Happy Friday, everybody. You got your mic back?
Yeah, I got it.
Okay.
Can they hear me?
Yeah, I'm sure they can. I just wasn't sure. I didn't see it on you. So,
Uh,
you're good. Hey, Gurka. Hey, Josie. Aloha. Hey, Stanford. Hi, Alton. Sammy D. Brandon made spaghetti. What was it, Tuesday?
uh-huh.
Yeah, Sammy D's making spaghetti.
Oh, that's good stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I'm telling them I'm posting it everywhere, so I'm sorry.
Oh, you're fine. They're still coming in. Hey, Linda. Hit the like button. Hit the like button. Hi, Bill. Bill Mancy.
Uh-huh.
Hi, Daniel. Hi, Rosalind. Hi, Daisy.
Hi, Daisy.
Daisy the dog.
Daisy, what are you doing?
Hi, Mookie Mookie.
You're live, Daisy. Are you live?
Say, feed me. Feed me.
Are you live, Hunji? You want some mungie?
Mungie. Stop taking my word. It's,
You
it's,
want some mungie?
it's Mookie. Mookie wants some kibbles and some bits and some wags and steaks.
And some mungie. Oh, Daisy, you're so cute. You're so cute.
Hi, Mookie. Hi. Hi.
Okay. I need a second.
You need a second? One. One. I didn't bring any treats for Daisy the dog.
Where we at with the show? Well, how many people on here?
We got some likes.
Mm-hmm.
I was Daisy required my time. I think we got about 50 people. Good
Okay.
place to be. Let me see. I like your thumbnail, by the way.
Oh, thank you.
41 people.
That's it? I'm just joking.
Oh my. Be humble, like the tribal people. Be humble. May God bless you in your journey. Wakey, wakey.
Eggs and bacon.
Daisy. Daisy, you little scoundrel. Daisy. Don't be trying to steal the show.
Daisy, are you trying to steal the show?
Of course.
Are you trying to do extra to do people make you like you better than me? Do you know more
Hi,
about the
Linda.
dinar? Do you know stuff about the dinar you want to release?
Hey, Nicole.
Do you want to release the what do you call it?
Release the beast.
No. Release the redemption centers and the 800 numbers. Do you want to release those things, Daisy?
Release the rate.
Do you want to release the date and rate for the Iraqi dinar?
He said, "Fix your mic." Jay, what's wrong? Jay, ooh. Jay, what's wrong with the mic? Is he muffled?
That's right here.
Oh, okay. You had it buried.
Did I have it buried? Sorry about that.
I guess Jay has mentioned it.
Thanks, Jay. Sorry about that. All right. Well.
Let's do this. 53 people and growing.
Huh.
Hit the like button. Okay. Let's
You know what I came to bring? The pain.
the bombs.
The bombs. Okay. There's a lot of
Okay,
things
that's
going.
better.
Okay. There's a lot of things going inside of Iraq right now. I'm here to report the news, nothing but the news, and straight up the news. Okay. Let's start talking about Sadr and what he's done so far. Sadr has done a really good job of bringing cultural awareness to a lot of things that are going inside of the news scene inside of the country. One being definitely the corruption. He definitely sprang a trap that we all saw
Come on.
with Zabari. Excuse me, with Zabari, and with that, he sprung a very effective trap. That trap was ensnared when the judicial jumped in and said that Zabari was ineligible to run for
Four.
the presidency because he was all veiled in corruption. And a lot of people thought that, hey, that was awesome. I did too. I thought, man, very much so, good job for his part. Sadr, used his voice for more than just a place to hang a hat. You know what I'm saying? So he did a great job.
That's his head, right?
Wow. Sorry. Sorry. However, on Friday, I believe he kind of screwed up. Sadr on Thursday shot his mouth off on Twitter, and you can't run a country from Twitter. Does that make sense? Who said that? You?
Me, yeah.
I would say so, yeah. I would say any ex facto type of person that's trying to be
We ain't got time for that.
right. And he ran his mouth. In it, he left a 6 point kind of de facto type of saying of what he expected that the central banker and the finance minister should do. Number one, to stop the smuggling of the currency forcibly and firmly, as well as forged invoices, which is what we've always talked about. I mean, nobody wants to see the money taken over by, especially by auction or something else. Second, looking into the matter of some banks, such as the Middle East Bank of Al Qaib, Al Asadi, belonging to some people who control the currency, and some other private banks. Immediately summoning the director of the central bank under the dome of the parliament. Immediately summoning the minister of finance under the dome of parliament. Now you got to understand something about power and what's called de facto power. Sadr has what's called perceived power. People say things inside of the government. They say things inside of the GOI. He says things and things are different. You know what I'm saying? Like, he's supposedly the man. Like, seriously. Like, when he says something, it supposedly really means something. He's commanded the presence of the CBI governor and Mr. Alawi. Alawi, moments later, afterwards, gave an 18-point reason why he's not going to turn himself into the parliament to do a interview. And if I'm looking at this from a point of view of being a journalist, or not even really a journalist, of someone of interest, I'm saying this is what perceived power is, and I'm also saying what real power is. Alawi considers himself, and a lot of other people, he's been a minister since forever. He's been involved in finance since forever. He was once the CBI governor. This guy has a lot of earned respect as well as perceived respect because he's walked the walk and he's talked the talk. He took the country from when it was basically negative nothing and turned it into a negative, let's just say 70 something billion dollars, if not $80 billion. Even though oil was an all-time high, his idea to help, reduce the value of the currency, part of his idea, gain more money, boom. Sorry. He was successful in his task. Now, later on, I'm going to show you how we're going to take his 78 billion and turn it into 4 times that amount to where I believe that the Iraqi dinar could be of some real nominal value. Because even though a lot of people would say, well, even though back in the day where there was only 30 billion dinar, the dinar had more value. And I would say, well, yeah, if you look at the M1, M2 money supplies back then, there was a provable account about how much money was in circulation. If you want to use a benchmark, the United States dollar is on par with about $1.12 trillion in circulation. The dinar has basically on file a little over 80 billion dinar in circulation. Now, you can't get a good M1, M2 money count out of Iraq, so you got to take that for what it is. But I would venture to say that the United States money count, when you say $1.12 trillion in circulation, for there therefore to be $1, that's a pretty good benchmark, right? So right now we're looking at about 80 billion. Let's just count that foreign reserves, not counting domestic reserves, but foreign reserves as we go to, aid in the value of the dinar. Just for argument's sake. Does that make sense?
Say it again, because I caught the dollar.
Were you listening the whole time?
I was.
Okay, so what I'm saying is the dinar has about, particularly, let's just say about 80 billion in foreign reserves.
Okay.
Let's just say the United States in total circulation, their currency, they have about 1.12 trillion. So if you really wanted to say, if you wanted the dinar to hold a nominal value, money count, which you have in control of because you have a count of, whether in a war chest or not a war chest, you have to say you have to at least have 1.12 trillion to be worth a dollar. Well, I mean, not to be worth a dollar, but
To be on par.
to be on par with the dollar, right? Mm-hmm. So tomorrow there's going to be this big showdown inside of Parliament in which what's called perceived power is where you got to think about this. Sadr is a cleric. Sadr is not in charge of anything but a political bloc that represents a group of people, and he's not really the man, so to speak. Meaning that he's not a parliamentary member. He's not a president. He doesn't hold a political position. Mm-hmm. He's called upon the whole parliament to bring forth the finance minister and the minister of the CBI as a man. Now, perceived power says that if he holds his power, those people will show up. If the minister of finance and the minister of the CBI or the CBI governor show up, it's not perceived power with Sadr, it's absolute power, and whatever he says command, because he's commanding for these people to show up inside of Parliament and for Parliament to act accordingly and to be there for him to answer questions. Even though he directly didn't summons him, he had a deputy director of Halabusi. So if a deputy director of Halabusi, we all know Halabusi's in cahoots with Sadr. So it comes from Sadr. Halabusi can sit there and plead ignorance if he wants to, but honestly and truthfully speaking, because now that he's been summoned by Sadr, Alawi has said, I'm not showing up. And he gave an 18-point reason why. One of it was for the dignity of his position. Two, because he works for a sovereign ministry. Three, he's been doing this a long time. Basically telling Sadr, I've been doing this since you thought about doing this. And on top of that, I took an economy that was basically -0 or -3, and I made it plus 70-something billion% more because of my hard work and effort. Mm-hmm. I don't want to show up. I'm not going to show up. In my own opinion, if I'm looking at that, I'm looking at it for two positions. If it's Sadr and he's demanding these people go in front of the parliament or under the dome, as so he's put it, if they don't show up, if I'm his political adversary, how well do I really think his position is truly solidified in front of his, not only his adversaries, but his compadres? Do you have a question or something?
I guess they're talking about Sadr. He's not part of the elected government?
No. Sadr is just in charge of the largest political bloc that represents in front of Parliament today. He's not actually an official member of Parliament. He can't be. He's a religious cleric.
Okay. Lower denoms is what it's all about.
No, lower denoms ain't what it's all about.
Elephant in the room.
No, lower denoms. Let me tell you this. Lower denoms ain't coming out anytime soon. Stop your stinking thinking. Think about this. If they can't figure out a president, why are they going to release lower denoms? That makes no sense. And there's no lower denoms to release, actually.
Standoff? What does that mean?
A standoff. Yeah, there's a standoff between what's truly going to happen when Sadr summons these people and what actually is going to happen. Because Sadr's actually going to sit lower denoms. You talk about Iraqi Dinar 101, looking for lower denoms right now. That's so basic. Like, where does that come from? Like, don't you think first the currency should be international before you start speaking? Dude, why are you regurgitating something you heard somewhere else? It's kind of like me blindly saying,
Somebody else said that?
yeah, they just said it right now. And they're like, well, lower denoms is the key. Lower denoms is the key to shit. Sorry.
Elephant in the room, everybody avoids why smoking gun, right? I don't understand that.
Me neither. Cryptically speaking, stop leaving messages so cryptic. It's not biblical. It's not Quranical. It's not Hindu. It's not nothing. It's not any of these fantastical conspiracies. World economy doesn't work off your conspiracy. World economy works off of basic business practice and an applicable business acumen. Dude, this is simple. Ain't gonna be well, there's $100 a barrel. Well, this is the linchpin. Stop. You sound stupid. For real. If you ever talk to someone that was involved in any world economy and say, well, when this happens, it's gonna all go. Go where? Dude, this is basic 101 stuff. Forget your nonsensical thinking or your conspiracy thinking. Think about this from a practical human being. A man challenges a man to a duel under the Parliament Bridge. One man has no power. One man has actual power because he's actually an outgoing parliamentary member of a sovereign ministry. The sovereign ministry says, I'm not going to respond to your tomfoolery. The other guy's like, well, huffing and puffing, well, you're going to show up. Well, if he doesn't, what? The guy with the perceived value or the guy with the actual power is going to follow through. If Sadr's request isn't met tomorrow by a deputy to someone who's actually an esteemed person of parliament, what happens to your perceived value or power when you think about it?
Yeah, Sammy D said, yeah, it needs to be international first.
Yeah, there ain't gonna be no Lord denoms until you see international value. Stop that. You heard that on dinar or something or something or something. Quit.
Your boy Sean says that's guru crap.
It is guru crap. And that's how you know a person that follows gurus. They spit guru crap. Their whole way of sounding smart is they heard about quantum financial systems from dude, please.
Guru economics.
Guru economics. Your guru economics are soon going to guru economically separate you from your money because you're stupid.
Asa says, what's next?
I'm telling you.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
This whole Sadr calling these people to the forefront. If you're his political adversary and they show up, now his perceived value is real value. He really is a powerful person. If he commands these people show up and they show up, he's actually a powerful person. If he commands these people show up and they tell him no and they're not going to show up because of various reasons, his political real power, if I'm his political adversary, I go on top of Iraqi news and say, look at this joker. He demanded that the CBI governor showed up. He demanded the finance minister showed up. Neither of them shows up. Who is this idiot? It weakens his political position. That's the way I look at it. I don't look at it. I either look at they show up, they respect him. They don't show up, they're disrespecting him. And Lowry's already said, I ain't showing up, so I'm disrespecting you. On top of that, he wants Alawi to account for certain things inside of the financial institution. But the real main question is, if he had a real question, why is he pulling forth the Minister of Finance and the governor of the Central Bank of Kirkuk? Or the central bank governor of the Kurdistan region? How have you guys sold all these million barrels of oil every day? You only got 350 million in the till. that's the real news of the day to me is how are the Kurds all this money, all this oil collected, and you only got 350 million, and yet Sadr makes a deal with Barzani, but yet he's questioning a lie about his job. I sit there and say, Sadr, where's your real allegiance? Barzani and his family steal. If there's $100 barrels of oil right now, Barzani and his followers are stealing about 65 to 95% of that oil. They're stealing it, putting it in their own coffers. When is Sadr going to break away from all the corruption and start to question the people that he's trying to make the president? The president's going to be some guy named Reader, and if you look at him, he looks sad in every single picture he takes. It's like the guy's got a really good record, but the guy looks like he's been beaten and basically worked down by the political machine, not just in the Kurdistan region, but damn, he's going to be actually a major player in the Iraqi parliament. And also, if you sit there back and say, well, who's going to be president? It wasn't a secret that old Kazemi spent the night over at his villa in Khan or Anbar, what do we call that? And they spent the night together talking about the political infrastructure of Iraq. So I still believe Kazemi is going to be the PM. Halabusi is the president, and this guy Reader is going to be the president of the whole thing. And he has a good record. You can't really look at him and say he's not a good person or not in good favor, but dang, this guy looks horrible in every picture he takes. On top of that, what are they going to do about the Kurdistan region as opposed to Kirkuk? Even though they have the least amount of oil refinery there, if the Kurds take it under the Kurdistan region, it's going to leave a major void in the oil industry, which already the Iraqi government is saying, hey, it's unconstitutional for a state to supersede the constitutionality of a federal constitution. And if you read the Constitution of Erbil, you'll find out that in some parts it may not have been voted on in 2000, I think 5 or 9. It's one of those numbers, 5 or 9. Their constitution may be a total hoax, may not even be enforceable. And anyway, it's all one Iraq, right? So, like, if it's all one Iraq, it doesn't matter if it's Kurds or Kurdistan or Kirkuk. That's all Iraq. How are you going to be a subsidized area, but yet you depend on an area for them to pay your salaries, them to help you out, them to help you with military, but yet you have all control of the oil in your region, and your family and the royal family has been stealing it for over 30 years. And by the way, can I talk a little bit? Can I talk a little bit?
Talk your Talk your
Let me show y'all how you really add real value to the Iraqi dinar. Not the perceived bullcrap value you've been hearing on every other dinar station. Let's use your numbers, not mine, right?
Okay.
So the Iraqi dinar basically in reserves has about, I'll give you 80 million, 80 billion, right? Mm-hmm. So if you look and you read about stolen monies, right, that are not in Iraq, the number comes up between 200 billion to 500 billion. I'm going to split the difference and say it's 300 billion. So I already doubled your economy if I could just get back the stolen funds out of Switzerland. And we all know with Switzerland, those names are attached to those secret areas, those secret bank accounts. Those names are going to get revealed. Those names are going to be exposed, and that exposure is going to aid them bringing the corrupt to a judicial value so they can face their judges and their peers and to say why you stole this money. So then with that $300 billion, I just doubled your economy with retrieving monies from stolen places. Now, if you add into that another $500 billion from the China deal, I just doubled and a half your currency then. So don't tell me that the Iraqi dinar can be worth something with a mere 80 billion in reserves. And I'm showing you how I can take all the money that's out there and I can show you what really can happen. If somebody asks me, why are you hollering all the time? Because motherfucker, you ain't listening.
babe.
Shit, I talk this ish every week. I don't get paid. Look, under further review, your video is not fit for every. Dude, this ain't Disney dinar. I ain't on here trying to talk to 6-year-olds about how to invest in the dinar. I'm trying to really spit to you how this ish really goes.
Do you want these questions?
Man, get them if you got them. Why I'm talking loud? Because you ain't listening. And why are you listening but ain't hearing me if you still
So you
listening?
ready for this?
Bring it.
So you make sure when you repeat this that they listening. You may want to say it loud. Okay, ready? So what are we going to look for on February 22nd?
Dude, I done told you 87 times since November. February 22nd at 12:22 p.m. The Iraqi Dinar will exit Chapter 7 into Chapter 6, thus releasing the current form of the dinar, the way it is today, into an area where it can rise or fall in value. Write that down. Because obviously, if you ain't got that by now, you probably ain't going to get too far to the bank because a fool and his money are soon departed. Yeah, this ain't for dummies. Like, if you dumb or you a little slow, you may want to go back like 10 videos and watch it. And I know people going to say, well, you harsh. Yeah, because I've been screaming this stuff for 3 years and you still ain't got it. And that's why I'm still hollering in the microphone and you still listening because you kind of like don't catch on good. I got to holler at you. You know what I'm saying? The ones that get it, kudos, gold star. I apologize for those slow in the back of the bus. The little short yellow one.
I can't with you.
Yo, for real.
Um,
Get mad if you want to.
did they okay, this is from Gurkha. Did they recover the stolen funds?
Not yet, but they're in cahoots with persons, such as Switzerland, that has said they're delisting them off the countries that have a secrecy list. So they're going to be able to reverse those funds to them. I still didn't go through all the money that the currency could be worth. I still didn't go through that. When someone tells me, Mr. Brando, the Iraqi dinar is worth $19.77. And I look at them and say, dude, you're kind of special. You're a special kind of dude.
Stop. Speaking of that, Iraq was in the UN. This is from Paul
Uh-huh.
on Tuesday.
Paul is a genius.
Um, Pete asked, don't you think that the biggest inflation problem comes from being pegged to the U.S. dollar?
Yes, absolutely.
But we're not.
Why the hell, excuse me, why would you be pegged to the US dollar where your currency is completely free and you have no debt? Why would you peg it to anything? You are the US dollar. You have the same amount of currency that if you collected the money, did the Chinese agreement, and a few other things, you'd have the same money in circulation as the US dollar, plus you'd have no debt. What do you think that equals out to be as a favorable part for the dinar? We ain't over 100 likes yet.
You told them
95 likes?
You gonna,
Is y'all tripping?
they on the you just kind of said some folks is on the short.
Well, y'all, it's time for you to get off the right. You was on the right track. Now you on that train. Give me some likes. Spitting this food to you, man.
Brandon got your name. Said I'm on that short bus. Screaming out again. I didn't hear you laugh out loud.
Man, if you on that short bus, listen, that's why we do these videos on YouTube, because if you on that little itty bitty bus, the speakers, look, the speakers is loud, you can listen again. Dude, ain't nothing wrong with listen, when I say the short bus, it's the ones that try to sound smart. They talk about quantum physics. They talk about redemption centers. The shit I've been talking about since about 3 years ago. Now, those people right there, and then the ones that now are talking about, well, there are no redemption centers. Guess where they got that from? I birthed them. I made them. It was painful. It was obviously, it took a lot, but just to get them off the short bus, to talk about the same things we've been talking about for weeks. I looked at them dinar rags the other day. They talking about, well, now it looks like we're in chapter 6. Duh. We knew that a month ago. Damn, what was that, 2 weeks ago? Mm-hmm. Now they just talking about that now? And then somebody put, well, there are no redemption centers.
Look, I was still at the old job. Remember when you sent me that article?
Yup.
And you circled it, and you was like, read it out loud, because I was on the short bus too. Right?
I was on the short bus before all y'all. I was telling you that every week. I was the biggest dummy of them all. And I ain't ashamed to admit it. I'm not. Dude, it's one thing to do wrong. It's one thing to do better. I choose to do better. Does that feel, you feel me?
Yeah.
Making a mistake is fine. Making it over and over and over and over and over and over is idiotic. the definition of an insanity. That's why I always say, Dinarians, some of y'all are super smart, some of y'all are super slow. I know a lot of y'all gonna get mad at me for saying it, but guess what? They don't publish my words in dinar. No, just every other guru spits the lines that I speak. And you know what? Someone said, and he says, well, you say the same thing every week. Because guess what? The same thing I said last week is still 3 weeks ahead of the same thing I said 3 weeks ago. Because you slow and you keep listening.
Brown said, we're not idiots, okay?
No, not all of y'all. The ones that tune in for the first part of this are not idiots. Most of the people that turn in is the one that take these words and twist it around and try to spew it some other way. Those are the ones that are idiots. Listen, you know what the one thing I know is when people tell me I'm smart, when they say I'm smart, I'm very smart, I know they're very stupid. And the ones that say that, listen, you're this is some short bus type stuff. If I'm telling you it's short stuff type bus, but it's probably not. It's probably more for an advanced listener.
Anticipate it will be worth or are making a trip to the bank. Any ideas? I ain't even gonna ask you that question. Okay.
Well, ask me. No, ask me. What was the question?
So
Let me hear the short bus question.
stop saying that. How long after the 22nd at 12:22 do you anticipate it be worth our making a trip to the bank?
Are you a first time listener or a 35th time listener or a 77 time
This is
listener?
not a year-long listener.
I don't do rates. I don't do dates on purpose.
Stop.
Come on,
Now,
y'all. Give me.
Paul said the basket where one currency has different values coming and going to other countries. Do you know what that means?
Yeah, he's talking about a weighted basket. But what I'm going to propose to you is what if the basket isn't weighted? What if you stand on your own merit and float just to float? The Iraqi currency, based upon how much stolen money is out there, how much money they're going to get from China, the actual oil economy right there, and then on top of that, the sulfur mines that are underneath there that make up the sole economy of the oil industry, as well as the oil industry itself, you can quadruple your position, and then now all of a sudden you have actually more dinar in circulation in an M1 money count than you could ever count. So you don't need to do all that. You could just use those monies. Have over $2.5 trillion to our 1.2, and our currency is a dollar for dollar. Take their currency, it could probably be north of, I'm not going to guess, but if it's at least 2 times the amount, 1.9 to R1? And not calling anybody slow. Not calling any of you slow or the short bus or none of that. What I'm saying is don't ask the same questions that we started with 3 years ago. Ask a question that's relevant to today's date. Does that make sense? I don't do rates. I don't do dates. I never have. I never will.
Not Paul. Pete says, can you see them unpaying soon to help the country in floating?
Well, I see them. That's a really good question. That's actually a great question. If they did unpeg and they floated, you'll know that the February 22nd, because that would give inherent value to the actual dinar holder. Do you see what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. To the actual person that holds the dinar. If they unpegged it from the dollar and said, look, we're not, listen, the whole thing about being under chapter sanction, other chapter 7 sanctions is that you're on a program rate. Mm-hmm. If on the February 22nd, if you're not a program rate, why are you using a program rate for your currency? I'll say it one more time for the people that don't understand English super great. You're on a program rate because a program rate was imposed on you because you were under Chapter 7 sanctions.
Right.
Past,
no longer.
Past February 22nd at 12:22 p.m., you're no longer under a program rate. Why are you on a program rate? That's a great question for Sadr summoning these people to the parliament. You feel me on that? Mm-hmm. That's a question I'd like to know the answer of.
You ready for another?
Yeah.
Sammy D asked, are they going into another basket or will they be paid to the E-dinar?
At one point, I thought they'd be pegged to the E dinar. At one point, I thought they'd be pegged to the Arab basket. I don't know. Honestly, if I knew that answer, I could tell you, but I don't know. I have hopes and prayers, but I don't think I know the answer to that to a degree that I can answer it confidently.
Okay.
I wish.
Um, monetize minerals. Yes.
And I don't mean to call people slow, but when I hear the same questions over and over for 3 years, I'm sorry. It leads me to believe that they didn't listen to the last video. I'm sorry.
Here, Nicole. I shouldn't even tell you the name, but Nicole said, "Can you give us a date, a rate, and time?"
Yeah, I can, but I'm not going to because it's mine. I told it to Daisy, and she barks it every time she speaks. If you can figure out the
Stupid.
octave of
You
her
are
voice, at the
stupid.
cadence of her voice, you can figure out the
Daisy.
date, rate, and time of the Iraqi dinar.
Come here. What's the rate? What's the rate?
Tell him, Daisy. Tell him I told
What is
you.
the rate? Tell me. I'm gonna
Tell
tell you.
Mama what the rate is.
What's the rate?
Tell her.
$1? What?
What's the rate? Tell me. I told you that. I know. But they don't know that. What's the rate? Tell them the rate again. Say it one more time for me. Are you sure that's what I told you? And you understand completely what I'm saying? Sit down.
Jay Lee says, I believe they'll depeg from the dollar and peg to the euro.
I like
That's my
that.
guess.
I
I
like that.
agree.
I like
I
that.
agree with
I
that.
did too. I have no fault in that at all.
But I have to be careful what I say around here. So
Daisy has her own opinion also based on the information I gave her. Daisy and Elmo are best friends.
Shanta said Daisy signed the NDA.
Daisy signed an NDA with Elmo. Daisy, remember what I told you and Elmo? Remember what I told you and Elmo?
Keep your inside voice.
Daisy, what did I tell you and Elmo?
Aha! Look, somebody said Daisy said 5-1.
She, you, if you hear that, I can't deny it. But if you take the Chinese agreement, if you take the sulfur agreement, if you take the lost and stolen funds agreement, if you take the fact that they're going to sell that sulfur and it's on par with the whole oil region and the oil business, that puts you basically at 6 times to 1 what your currency is currently worth just in dinar. Now your currency, now you can start having the conversation of why your currency is based at what it's based. And that's where you start to say, well, dang, we've got all this money, and why is our currency only worth this? That's what you really should be asking one another. It's not why the currency is not worth $1. It's why it ain't worth $1.80 or $1.90 based upon all the money sitting out there that Iraq is truly worth with the contracts and the money that's out there and stuff they're going to collect. They've already quadrupled 5 times their position currently right now in an upturn market. And that's not talking crap. That's really speaking facts.
Gurkha says $3.22. Asa said $3.22.
But it all starts tomorrow with the fight inside of the CBI and the fight inside of the Ministry of Finance going under the Parliament if they don't show up to work tomorrow.
Okay, so Pete was the one. I think Pete initially said, and I said I agree. No, that was Jay Lee about being depegged and pegged to the euro.
Okay.
I'm trying to remember what he said because now he sent hit. Let me just read what he said. Let me know if I am right with all the money they are bringing in from oil, customs, and from their ports. They can't afford to bring it on par with the U.S. dollar easily.
Why? I don't see a question why they couldn't if they do all the things I just described prior to what we just talked about. If the US dollar has 1.1 trillion in circulation, we know we got 80 billion. We know we got 500 billion from the China agreement. We know we got another at least oil whole platform from sulfur. So that's 80 billion. And that's sulfur in a high time, not if oil goes to a lower time. Then on top of that, you got them in lost and stolen funds from 200 million to 500 million. I can quadruple your whole position just with those things.
Drayville says, I was able to speak with Breitling on a live webinar, and he said that they are all ready and eager to add value to the dinar. They don't see anything stopping them, so I'm patiently waiting. Okay. Uh,
No offense to Breitling, I like him, but I don't care what Breitling says.
right. I get
Me
you.
personally, I mean, he's a good guy, but he's wrong on a lot of things in my opinion.
So
He's a great guy. I think he's a good guy personally.
they said, Mr. B, are you gonna do a dance for us on the 22nd next week?
Did y'all see Snoop Dogg sea walking during the Super Bowl?
You gonna see walk?
I'm gonna sea walk on the
You
22nd,
gonna
no matter
no? You
what.
gonna K walk?
I'm a
K
K-walk. Yeah, I'm a
K
K-walk.
walk.
The sea walk and the K-walk is kind of a mixture between Mary J. Blige's dance and Snoop Dogg's dance.
You know she be fighting the air.
Well, I'll be fighting air, my feet gonna be twisted, and y'all ain't see my shoes. Look at them 95s. Y'all ain't used to that. It's pure luxury, baby.
They said keep up the good work. They gonna be pegged to the dong.
Dude, I love y'all theories. Dude, keep throwing. Dude, I'm saying it right here. Spam the chat from here on out. They gonna be pegged to the Dom, the Zimbabwe, and don't forget about my NFTs. Your favorite gurus are about to be an NFT. Trust me. I'm coming out with them. I got 11 of them picked. We doing the NFT game. They're gonna be two-dimensional. They're gonna move. It's gonna be dope. Don't worry about what it's based in. Don't give me no suggestions. My team is on it. They're coming out quickly.
Brandon said, "R.I.P. to Mr. Brando's ankles." Sammy D said he needs some of them shoes.
Man, you need to get these. These for real. Look, these are so solid.
The RI is the key outside of Iraq.
Man, all right, man.
Finance minister already stated he's not showing up.
Mm-hmm. Perceived power or real power. I could give an example by a politician, but I'm not. Think about it. If you got real power, you got really real
Daniel
power.
said, "I'll give you $1 million for the talking dog."
Dude, Daisy's smart. She's very smart. I tell Daisy things. Me and Elmo. If y'all are on Mr. Brando, April BB Facebook page, and if you're not, you should want to join it. I answer all my things with Elmo. Elmo. Daisy and me and Elmo talk, and Elmo answers. I like Elmo. He's crazy. He goes,
Are you gonna do a live at on 222
no.
at 222?
I don't do a live on anything I ever predict because if I do a live on when I predict it, it never comes true. When I do a live, I want it to be the authentic. You know what I'm saying? So I'll do a live that Friday, and that's when I'll do it. But no, I ain't 12/22. We already know it's going to happen. I've already said it's going to happen. It's going to happen. If I do one, then I'm sitting here being a jerk and saying, "Well, see what I did." We already know what I do.
So Willie want to talk to you. He says, "So my question is, if this thing goes on the 22nd, when can we start talking about the deposits from the blocks?
Okay, well,
Second
listen.
quarter,
Okay,
June,
no,
July."
no. Hold on. Let me explain this to you. Nothing happens on the 22nd but the availability for the Iraqi dinar to be increased in value. What's going to happen with the blocks has to come with purchases from the block. You have to have a few more companies go inside of it, and then you'd also like the companies that are inside of it to expand. So be cool, young Jedi. I see you ain't eager. Dude, watch the message. And anybody that's involved in block purchases that are inside the group right now, if you guys want to buy blocks until everything goes forward, buy blocks. New people, we're not taking new people right now.
Sean said, "Can you run in them shoes?"
Yeah, probably to the gas station. Nah, I probably couldn't run to the gas station. I probably could run to the end of the block, and they'll be tore up
Run down
because
the
they
steps.
fuzzy and soft. That's why I like them. And they cool as hell. These are 95, dude. These are so ill. They go so hard.
You got Miss Pam laughing at you.
Miss Pitt, that's my girl right there. Shout out Financial Friday. Shout out Dominique, Miss Agnes. I know she's sea walking everywhere. I know. Shout out Sansan Lock and Key. Shout out Bling Empire. Shout out Mr. Woody. Shout out Miss Linda. All of them. Miss Deborah. All of them on Financial Fridays. Thank you for listening and thank you for supporting.
What negative consequences could arise from revaluing the dinar?
Man, it throws a monkey wrench in the whole Iraqi economy, and the Iraqi citizens going to basically unrest just like they did with the euro.
Mm-hmm.
That's basically the only thing I could think of.
Paul says, in the long run, the only country that's going to be worth more than Iraq is going to be Saudi Arabia, and that's going to be questionable in a future.
Yeah, because the thing that Iraq can do that could differentiate himself from Kuwait and Saudi Arabia is they could go ahead right now and start taking all the oil out of the ground, converting it into barrels that are in a soft serve type situation where they have them on deck. So just like the reason why the Kuwaiti infrastructure is so strong, they have an infrastructure of holding so many barrels of oil in a derivative offhand that's already extracted from the earth. That way, it's worth something.
Mary said, "Can I see your shoes again?"
Yes, you can. They are dope. See them? Those are so ill. They go so hard. Now, Daisy, quit talking. Shush.
Stop telling all the business.
Hey, I told you what you. Hey. Shh. Don't tell everybody. Okay. Shh.
Pete said throughout the shh, knock it off.
Sit down. Sit down. You're good. Sit down. Sit down. Let the people know you're a good girl.
You want me to read this?
Yeah.
Okay.
Shh. Come here. Daisy wants to just tell y'all what she knows.
Throughout the history, the dinar was never below $2. Do you think sometime after the 22nd it could come back to that or more?
Yeah. Okay. So whoever asked that question, Pete, you pose a very good question because this is the reason why. Why is Alawi and the CBI governor all over the news and everywhere else talking about return to the glory days, showing Saddam notes when the currency was worth $3 plus a value, and then now all of a sudden saying they don't want to go up in front of Parliament, in front of Sadr, and say that it's not? The question to that is why? Because why would you do all these things and then all of a sudden now you don't want to do them? So do I believe the currency will be worth more? I absolutely do. Can I prove how it's going to do it? I absolutely can. Can I show that why they don't do it? No, I cannot. If I could, hey, you need to sit down and be good.
Is the dong going to revalue?
No, not anytime soon.
Not even.
They're still under sanctions and they're not doing anything to take themselves out of sanctions. If they were, man, dang, I'd be the biggest donks. Man, I'll tell y'all right now. I think I got what? How much dong? We got 500 million.
We got a lot of it.
500 million dong, man. I got sucked. I should sell all my dong and double my position in ISX.
Well, when I checked for Shanetta yesterday, it's pulled back from the time we.
Oh.
So we're not selling it.
Nah.
Because she was called me asking, "Oh, we've made money on the dong." I said, "What?" She had their zeros in the wrong place and everything. If anything, I think we shaved off about $40 from each purchase. So yeah, that's not happening.
I'm not happy with the dong purchase right now. Not saying it can't turn around. It can turn around, but right now, man, nah, it's not going over.
Oh, Drayville want to know if you still have the same email account. I guess y'all had corresponded before. Yeah, he still has the same.
Yeah, mrbdjackso@gmail.com. mrbdjackso@gmail is my email.
Alita wants to know, where'd you get those shoes from?
Oh, I got them off Amazon. I got these and I got some Jordan 11s. I'll probably get some Jordan 3s next. And I'll tell you what, I bedazzled the coin. I didn't wear it. Miss BB took it off. I ain't wearing my chain.
Cause you, I ain't gonna say.
I was asleep.
Yeah, you sleeping.
Yeah, I was asleep.
So I took and took it off.
I'll send a picture. I'll send a picture of the Kangaroo coin. I bedazzled it, so it's lovely, y'all. It's beautiful.
Brandon says Daisy is a fake guru.
Daisy, don't ever say all that, Daisy. She ain't no fake guru, okay? Daisy a real guru.
She's the linchpin.
She's the linchpin to everything that's going on. And that, dude, don't ever talk about Daisy. That's my gang right there. Shoot. Over here talking crazy to me, man. Daisy, man. Daisy knowing more than most people know. Daisy a good dog.
Daisy around there want to get you.
Man, you gonna make me bust my gun to get it. Shoot. Daisy ain't no fake guru. Daisy the real deal.
What about Venezuela Boulevard? Didn't you buy some of that? No. I had to do that. I just had to.
Man, I almost cussed you for real.
What was
What the hell? Is that my?
That's your phone.
I almost cussed you.
Okay.
Y'all gonna make me cuss my wife?
Cuss your peoples.
Man, buy some Boulevard.
You got glasses in your pocket.
I know I had to bring 2 pairs up here just in case.
All right, y'all.
Anything else? I'm at 50 minutes, man.
I'm thinking about the 22nd, and I'm still curious if the change of Chapter 6 and lifting the sanctions not automatically will reinstate the dinar.
You can't. I can't. All week, man. I'm telling you, we gotta wait. I mean, for real.
What's your opinion on the Iran real, whatever you call that shit?
They gotta get from under USA sanctions, and they're gonna sign a UN nuclear deal, but it's gonna be very, very prohibitive of what they can do right
in for
now.
some Bitcoin.
And they're under Chapter 7, and a lot of people don't know this. North Korea's under Chapter 7. Iran's under Chapter 7. There's a few countries under Chapter 7, so they got a long way to go before the Iranian real's worth anything.
Real Estate 305 says she loves us, or he loves us. I don't
Yeah,
know.
he a good dude. I sent him a message too. Real Estate told him how to get in touch. Man, I sent you a message, dog. I hope you got it. So,
And what she had to say? She said, "Are you busted?" What's that mean?
Oh, Shanton in Houston. Shanton, I said we gonna hang out tomorrow.
She said, "Are you busted?"
I'm buzzed down.
Oh.
Wrist wearing chain.
I ain't catch it. Okay, that's it. Let's go.
All right. Good to see y'all. Thank you guys. No short bus activity. Everybody's on the big bus. 190 on here. Join the noble institution, man. Hit the like button. Hit the subscribe button. Daisy, tell them what you want to tell them.
Bust your gun to get it, Daisy.
What's the rate of your Iraqi Dinar? Daisy gonna tell you if you join my noble institution. Daisy will tell you. I'll describe this for you so you really know what it is. All right, y'all. Peace out.
Good night.